also says you're wrong, that the last thing we need, talking about drone strikes, that the last thing we need is a judge second-guessing the commander-in-chief.
Well, I think we need to make the question a little more precise. What I'm asking is about drone strikes on Americans, on American soil. The president will not answer that he cannot do this. In fact, he seems to be asserting that he can do this. The law indicates that he can't. The CIA is not supposed to assassinate people on American soil, and the Department of Defense isn't allowed to act on American soil because of the Posse Comitatus Act. So the American law says they can't do this, but the president, all he will say is he doesn't intend to do this. That's sort of like him saying, oh, I don't intend to override the Second Amendment, but I might.
Well,
I want him to say absolutely won't kill an American.
Let me interrupt for a second, because I thought that you were objecting to drone strikes on American citizens on foreign soil as well. Is that not true?
I'm primarily asking, and the primary question is, Americans on American soil, can the president kill them with a drone strike from this program? It's blatantly illegal, and I would think most Americans would want to have their day in court. And so I disagree with Senator Graham. If you live in America, you ought to get your day in court before a Hellfire missile comes down on your house.
But I'm confused, sir. Why would we need a drone strike? I mean, the reason for drone strikes is because we don't have people on the ground. If we knew where an al-Qaeda operative was, American or foreign, on U.S. soil, wouldn't we just go catch him?
You would think, but here's Brennan's response. He says the authorization to use force in 2001 in Afghanistan has no geographical limit. So when he says that, our first question is, gosh, he's implying that he could do it in America. So we send him a written question. Senator Wyden asks him a verbal question. Can you kill an American on American soil? And he won't answer. The president has now answered and says, I don't intend to do so. Well, that's pretty weak. I want him to say absolutely he will not kill Americans on American soil, because we do strikes overseas that are sometimes not even targeted to an individual. We see a caravan coming out of a place we think people don't like America, and we strike a train of vehicles without even knowing who they are. But with Americans overseas, I also do have some objection in the sense that I would try them for treason. Al-Awlaki was known, and it was published that he was on a target list for months and months. He could have been tried in a federal court for treason. He had denounced America, and in all likelihood, he would have been swiftly convicted. His son, though, was never tried. We killed his 16-year-old son, and I don't think that that was appropriate. His son was never even accused of terrorism. The government won't even admit that it was a mistake or an error, whatever it was. And I think that is wrong. You should get some protection for being an American citizen. Where I agree with Senator Graham is, if you have a grenade launcher on your shoulder, by all means, and you're firing at Americans, you don't need due process. But if you're sitting in a cafe in Paris or Yemen, there probably should be some process where a judge decides